Porter, what are you seeing from Iowa on film, and how much do you think this road trip with the quality of opponents is going to teach you and show you about your team?
You know, Iowa, Coach McCaffrey's done it for years. He's about to be the all-time winningest coach there, but they play an unbelievably fast-paced offense. And they run, I mean, it's up the court so fast. Your transition D's got to be absolutely on it. They run great motion offense, and they're just extremely tough to scout because they play so fast, and then they grind you down side to side in their motion. So it's going to be a great test. We're trying to play faster, and but our transition D is going to be tested because of how fast they get it up the court.
Porter, I know you guys would rather play at home, but, for a road trip like this, Thanksgiving, playing some teams away from home, how big are these trips maybe for team chemistry, things like that?
They're great. That's why we did two high-level scrimmages in other cities, for that reason. And, wherever you play, I've said it for years, like it's a big Majerus thing. It's not whether you're home or the way. You got to play the right way. And for us, it's great. This tournament's going to be a great tournament, 4 really good teams. So I know our guys are excited. We're excited that we're going there 4-0. We're excited that it's opportunities to play high-level teams.
How difficult is it to get into these multi-team events, and how important is it to try to get into them?
Well, I think there's a lot of them right now. There are good ones, and they're really important. I think you get two quality games on a neutral court, and doesn't hurt that it's in San Diego. That's going to be a great location, and but our guys are really looking forward to competing. I can't say it enough. These practices, you can just see the guys edge the excitement to play.
You've accomplished so much in your first 4 games, and you got to know your team a little bit. On paper, this is a step up in competition. So what are you looking forward to finding out about your team, or have you already learned so much about your team that?
No, you're constantly learning, James, about your team as you go through the year. And like I said, that's why we did these 2 high-level scrimmages. And but our guys, they're here at Oklahoma because they want to. We're in the best conference in the country, the Big 12. There's nothing like it. The last couple of years, our non-conference, we've had the number 2 and the number 7 hardest conference, hardest schedule in the country. So this is why they're here. They know we're going to play these type of games, and this is where you got to continue to get better. And I want to see when you ask me what I'm looking for. Every one of these games we've played so far, we've tried to get better, and that's what we hope to do against Iowa.
We talk about Iowa's pace. How do you balance wanting to play at the pace you guys have played at so far without letting it spiral if things get slack and turn it into a total?
We don't want to completely change. We're really we've recruited to be more athletic, we've recruited to be faster. So we need to take advantage of transition and offensive rebounding. We need to do those things. You just need to be really aware of that's what they've been great at for years. Their style of play, but they're very, very good at it. And so we just you gotta get to the shooters in transition. You gotta stop the ball, but it's up to the battle line in 3 seconds. Every possession.
JV, I'm saying these are the type of games he came here for to play in. What have you seen out of him this year, and why did you want him on this team?
So Javion, the first part about it is we just set out to get speed and shooting and multiple guys that can play point guard. And Javion gives us a tremendous amount of speed. He can shoot it all. He can score at all 3 levels. And what I've seen out of Jamie too is and you don't really know this until you get a kid every day, is his competitive nature. He's really competitive. In practice, he wants to win every drill, and that's just we saw it at Siena, like when he played against he has no fear, and you love that. You love that no fear mentality of wanting to prove something all the time. And I think Javion probably has that. People probably said he was too frail to play high major early on, too small, whatever. They was always told that, and he's proven he can, and he's got an edge to prove he can.
He also said that he likes playing on the road. He almost likes it more than playing at home. Is it big to maybe have players that kind of have that mentality?
I personally don't talk about road, home, away. I just talk about playing the right way. And that was a big Majerus thing because you're going to have all 3. You're going to have neutral, home, and away, and just how are you going to play? You can't just be so. But if you are, you do like guys that the road doesn't bother you. The crowd doesn't bother you. Being away from home doesn't bother you. Some people embrace that. So as a player, I used to actually like to, all the people in the country have that same quote, crickets. You hope you play so well, you're walking off the court, you're with a win, and you only hear crickets. So as a player, you do like those atmospheres.
Hey, Port, 2 of your 4 games, I think your bench has led you in
Yeah.
scoring. You feel like you can play that kind of bench even against a step up in competition?
Oh, well, for sure. I feel like we have 8 starters.
Yeah.
I feel like we have 8 starters, and in Latre and John and Waldo and Luke. I've got a lot of confidence in Luke and Caden to be in there, and Mox is right there. So I got a lot of confidence in a lot of guys. I know last game we got kind of hard for Luke because all they really were doing were spacing and the ISO driving so hard. But this is a tournament Luke can play in. But the depth that we have to know that you got guys off the bench that can put the ball in the hole too. And I think we come in with, Latre and Waldo arguably are 2 of our better defenders. So it's you got guys that can make shots and really defend coming off the bench.
Talk about the edge that Javen has. Feels like all your depth guys have that kind of edge too. How's that helped with what you kind of talked about in the preseason, that continue want to improve on the practice?
Yeah, Waldo and Latre for sure have that edge. They're 2 of the guys that only have this is it, and so they have an urgency about them, which I liked. Because you got to have that, and sometimes young guys don't have it. I'm not saying they don't, but I think those guys, Waldo and Latre, they play defense the way I love it, with just a physicality and a competitiveness defensively. Those guys do.
Do you have a favorite